you. You certainly put us off to a really good start and you do my heart good, so thank you for that. Fáilte rómha lig a háirde ta ahasorm a bheith and seo anocht. I am so delighted to join you here this evening in Belfast for this year's Ardash, one of the biggest in recent years, and I think the crowd tonight speaks to that. And that reflects, I think, the growing belief and confidence within Sinn Féin activists right across this island. How fitting that we meet tonight on the anniversary of the 1916 Rising. I'm proud to be among the people who drive this movement, who carry it into every community and move our shared journey forward. And that's you, our activists, our members, standing up for what we believe in, building momentum in every community. And every mile that we have travelled, we've travelled because of you. Gan sin ní bheith muid an seo. You are the engine of change. We're gathered in a city that is so synonymous with political change on our island, stretching back over many centuries to McCracken Tone and the foundation of the United Irish Men and Women, and weaving through every generation since. And Aharja, that revolutionary spirit still burns as brightly today. It is that vision that proclaimed at Cave Hill that continues to bond the generations of Irish Republicans and serves as a real inspiration to the Ireland that we envisage, one of equality, one of justice, and one of freedom. And it is that ethos of building a future where we all live side by side in respect, in solidarity, that is the bedrock of my work as First Minister. For the first time in the Northern State, an Irish nationalist, a Republican woman from Tyrone, is First Minister. And that was a moment of historic change, but this isn't just about symbolism. It's about respect. It's about responsibility. To lead for everyone, to serve all communities, to work and represent everyone equally. And by word and by deed, that is what I am working hard to achieve. Ag obair ar son gach ila dinne, gach ila lá. That means reaching out to everyone who calls this place home. It means showing respect to all cultures and identities. And for me, that's what leadership looks like. That's the leadership that our children, our grandchildren, and future generations deserve. They deserve today as political leaders to be brave, to be bold, and to reach well beyond our comfort zones. And when that feels uncomfortable, indeed especially whenever it feels uncomfortable. In 2026, we judge ourselves by the Republican standards of equality for all, respect for all, dignity for all, and a better future for all. What we do is build bridges rather than barriers, when we bring communities together rather than inflame division. And we are determined to ensure that all of our children, whatever their background, will grow up in a world that is better than we did. And I am the First Minister for Equality, I am the First Minister for Hope, and I am the First Minister for all. Politics works best when people work together with a common purpose. And I believe that all four parties of the executive should be working together to deliver on the needs and the aspirations of workers and families, especially with the ongoing challenges and the cost of living crisis that's affecting so many people who are just trying to get by. The common ground should always be on delivering what matters most, delivering for workers and for families, and I will never stop trying. Now, progress in the executive has been slower than I would have liked, and I understand people's frustrations out there because I too feel that frustration. However, despite my best efforts and those of the Sinn Féin ministers, there are quite simply some who do not want to work together. You see, the DUP want to turn the clock back. They're attempting to block and delay progress on issues that would make a real difference to people's lives. They want to drag society backwards. They continue to deny people their rights. They attack everything to do with Irish national identity. They yearn for the days of unionist misrule. But here's the thing. Those days are gone. We are not going backwards. We are only going forwards, and people are way ahead. I believe people are way ahead because they see the big idea of our time. They see Irish unity as the answer to a brighter, better future. In the meantime, we will turn up every day. We will have families' backs. We will keep driving forward. And why? Because workers and families and communities deserve better. We will work to reform the institutions because they have to work for people. And I'm given a commitment that we will look at the proposals to reform the institutions, and we will work with other progressive parties to deliver the change that is needed to end the blockage on progress. Now, despite the clear limitations in the powers of the Executive and the Assembly, Sinn Féin ministers and our whole team have been working tirelessly to deliver progress. Under our Economy Minister, Kiva Archibald's stewardship, a new chapter is being written for workers, families and communities. No longer will cities, towns and communities west of the Bann be forgotten. And no place is that more visible than in Derry and the wider North West. Millions of pounds have been invested, enormous growth of the Magee University campus, more in the last 2 years than the full decade prior. Regional balance isn't just a glossy slogan. It's a defining aspect of our work every day. The all-island economy is flourishing like never before, and we are building a fairer economy with workers at its core, which is why Kiva Archibald is delivering the most progressive workers' rights legislation anywhere on these islands, and I commend Kiva for that. In infrastructure, Liz Kimmins has been working really hard investing in our wastewater infrastructure, our public transport. She has championed the needs of local communities. The opening of the new state-of-the-art Grand Central Station has allowed for an early Belfast to Dublin rail service, boosting connectivity across this island. She has frozen public transport fares to help people get through the cost of living crisis as fuel prices soar. Millions of pounds investment in new roads, active travel routes and cross-border greenways, and the full funding of community transport services, which is really central to rural communities. Whenever it comes to road safety, there is no more important a project than the A5. Too many lives have been lost on that dangerous stretch of road, and it has left families and communities torn apart and heartbroken, mourning the loss of a loved one. The A5 is and remains an absolute priority for Liz, for me, and for the people of Tyrone, Donegal, Monaghan and further afield. And we will leave no stone unturned in making sure that the A5 is built. John O'Dowd, as our Finance Minister, continues to fight the corner of people here in challenging the British Treasury at every turn on their cynical cuts and their inadequate budget. While some parties told us our efforts would be in vain in fighting for fairer funding, that we should just sit back, suck it up and get on with it. But our Finance Minister didn't accept that. He took the fight to London, banging on the door of the Treasury. And since then, Sinn Féin since we've taken up the ministry, we have secured an additional £1.4 billion in funding that has gone straight into healthcare, special educational needs, childcare, Loughney, and providing more and more supports for our small and local businesses. This funding has also allowed us to deliver fair pay for our hard-pressed public sector workers in our hospitals and our schools and who work on our roads and right across all the different sectors. But I argue there is much, much more to do. We need to see more all-island cooperation, including more joined-up work across the North-South Ministerial Council. The limitations of this devolved arrangement couldn't be in more stark contrast this week. Whenever we see headlines of budget surplus of more than €9 billion in the 26 counties, whilst the expenditure is starved here in the north. That's the true cost of partition. This Ardèche is being held against the backdrop of a society endemic with violence against women and girls. The murder of women, domestic abuse, coercive control and inequality between men and women are all the outworkings of deep-rooted, outdated patriarchal institutions, history and culture. And I do not say that lightly. I say it to reflect the true gravity of the situation before us. Violence against women and girls is a national emergency across this island. It is claiming the lives of women in our towns, in our cities, in our villages, in homes right across the country. The attitudes, cultures and prejudices which drive and enable violence must be challenged wherever they occur. And that's the responsibility of everyone in our society and every aspect of our society, because violence against women and girls must end. I'm really delighted to say that since the last Ardesh, Ac Gaeilge is now firmly in place, and the first ever Irish Language Commissioner has been appointed in the North. And there's no escaping the reality that the Irish language is going through enormously exciting times as the largest revival in generations is underway. So to all the young Gaels out there, your energy is infectious. Spragging Shiv Agan Ola Lame. Keep her lit. Keep going. Keep celebrating. Keep celebrating our language and culture. Keep campaigning for language rights. And in the words of a very well-known Irish rap group, C-E-A-R-T-A. Lanny Leva Carja. We have also seen progress on Casement Park. Diggers are now on site and work is ongoing to prepare for the building of the new stadium. It's long overdue that Antrim and Ulster Gaels had a world-class stadium that reflects the spectacular growth of Gaelic games and the scale of their ambition. So we will continue to work with the GAA because Casement Park will be that home for our Gaels and Casement Park will be built. So while we are working tirelessly to deliver for citizens here, Westminster continues to fail all of our people. While the name on the desk may change, so whether it's Johnson, Truss, Sunak, Starmer, or even, God forbid, Farage, one constant has and will always remain: their contempt and their complete disregard for the people and communities here. They brought us partition, Brexit, they crashed the economy, they forced over a decade of austerity, they have failed on the cost of living. So my message to Keir Starmer is clear. Our citizens are not second class. People here are entitled to good public services, they're entitled to a good quality of life. They deserve respect, investment and equality. We reject your underfunding and your neglect. We reject your political choices that prioritise weapons of war over people. Our health service, education and all of our public services have been decimated by Westminster. And we saw that just a few weeks ago whenever they stripped out funding without a care in the world from local community groups. No thought given to the people who literally rely on those services to get by, or the local communities or the workers themselves. Decision after decision made in London shows clearly that they do not care about people and communities here. And the complete refusal of this British government to cut fuel on heating oil, on petrol, on diesel, or do anything of substance to help people through the cost of living is completely and utterly shameful. While families struggle to heat their home, while workers struggle to put fuel in their cars, and while people are genuinely pushed to the brink, what's the response of the British government? To dramatically ramp up spending on weapons of war to the tune of billions each year. Whenever the global response should respect international law, diplomacy, dialogue, not rearmament, not militarisation. It's not just the people here who can see beyond the shackles of Westminster. In just a matter of days, we could witness more seismic and historic change in the elections in Scotland and Wales. And for the very first time in history, there is a possibility that there could be 3 nationalist, pro-independent and pro-self-determination First Ministers. And what does that tell us? Tashi and Amdon Athru, the people in Ireland, in Scotland and in Wales, now more than ever are asserting their desire for independence. Their union is cracking at the seams, and I want to extend solidarity. And I want to extend our solidarity from the Ardesh to our friends in the SNP and Plaid Cymru in their election in the coming days. I also want to extend our continued and unwavering solidarity with the people of Palestine. The Irish people stand with you. We will never, ever be silent. We will continue to amplify your voice, your experience and your struggle. We will stand with you every step of the way until the cruel system that sustains the illegal occupation and apartheid is brought to a long overdue end and the Palestinian people are free. Saoirse Done, Palestine. Harja, this week the British government have once again made another selfish political choice. They have made a political calculation to give preferential treatment to their state forces rather than deliver for victims. That flies in the face of the Stormont House Agreement, which was agreed by all political parties and by both governments. They have failed to tackle the legacy of the past, failed to command the confidence of victims, and failed in international human rights standards. So this evening I want to acknowledge all families affected by the conflict, many of whom are with us in the room tonight. Our Ardèche extends solidarity and support to all of you who are continuing to struggle for truth and for justice. Sinn Féin will continue to challenge the British Government as it continues to deny access to truth for families, as they continue to duck and dive from its commitment to legacy legislation. There is one woman in particular in my thoughts tonight, and that is Bridie Brown, the wife of Sean Brown, who was murdered 28 years ago. The tenacity, courage and resilience of Bridie Brown and her family is an inspiration. But it is cruel and it is grotesque that in 2026 the British Government drags Bridie, a woman who is nearly 90 years of age, through the courts just for seeking truth for a loving husband and a father. So our Ardèche extends a huge warm welcome to the members of the Brown family that are with us here this evening. You are most welcome. You are so welcome, and we really appreciate you taking the time and joining us here this evening. So our Ardèche sends a very strong message this evening. There must be a full public inquiry into the murder of Sean Brown. That must happen now. No more cover-ups, no more delays. Aharja, we face into a number of elections, including by-elections not too far away, and next year's Assembly and Council elections in the north, followed very closely by Westminster and Dáil elections. Those series of elections are the tipping point. The tipping point where we can send a very clear demand for constitutional change in Ireland. Sinn Féin is stronger now than at any time in the last 100 years, and we are planning for change. The Irish Government should be showing leadership and planning for change. The British Government need to face up to the realities that people want and can govern ourselves in our own interests. People in Ireland can almost touch the opportunity that's in front of them. Tapish and Jesh Shin. So it's time the choice was put to the people. As we approach 30 years of the Good Friday Agreement, we want the fulfilment of that agreement, because partition has failed all the people of Ireland, orange, green, nationalist, unionist or other. It's time to end that partition and to start a new chapter. Sinn Féin eyes are very much focused on the future and look into the future with confidence. So let's remind ourselves at our Ardèche what our journey is about. Justice, equality, building a new united Ireland. The time to build Ireland's future is here and it's now, in our communities, in our politics, in our activism. And the responsibility is on all of us to continue to organise, to plan, to deliver, step by step, community by community, our island Lakela. Let's go from this Ardèche this weekend, determined, confident, proud, and let's finish this journey. Gura mila mai agah galar.